remember coming to the pulpit, getting ready to speak, and I heard Bishop Brown speak to me, and he says, tell it the way it is. And I talked about Bishop Brown, who was in that coffin inside that church. He was a double amputee on dialysis 3 days a week, 3 hours a day because of diabetes. And every bishop that was up there with me was all going to experience the same illness, going the same route, leading the flock down a road that is not going to deal with the real power. And what is deep about this, go back when Jesus was in the desert. When the devil came to him, he just said, do you want gold? He didn't say, do you want women? Do you want wine? Do you want treasures? He said, no. He said, are you hungry? You may have put on the full armor of God to deal with wine, women, and song, but the devil is so smooth in his operation that he's going to find a way out. And while you're not protecting yourself from what he's using to kill us, we're saying that, hey, we're righteous and self-righteous in our action, but in reality, he just snuck in and gave us the food that we're poisoning ourselves. You should never look down on another crack fiend again, because we are so addicted to the food we're eating that it's unbelievable. Try taking someone that's hooked on heroin and crack and put him in another room, and then take someone that's hooked on fat, sugar, and salt and put it in another room and take it away from them, and I challenge you to tell me who's the drug dealer.
All right now.
Real drug users, the pharmaceutical company that have our mothers and grandmothers on 6 and 7 drugs. It's not the cat that's selling drug on the corner. It's a 3-piece suit pharmaceutical industry that is pushing drugs in our community. And every drug you take has so many side effects that is disruptive to your spirit. Destroys your kidney. Destroys your blood pressure. Destroys your heart. It's the food. It's the food. And that's the movement, and that's why I honor and I praise you what you're doing.
Thank you.
Because you're having a real conversation about the power of food and what it does and how it heals and how it clears your mind and allows you to really find your true purpose. Let me tell you, a chronic disease hijacks your life.
Yes.
You're debating about hospice care. Not only impacts the person who's experiencing the disease, it impacts all the caregivers. They're thinking about the next test. They're thinking about did it spread. They're thinking about how severe, do I lose this limb or this arm? That's what chronic disease does. And nowhere is it reflected more than the communities of color. Every house of worship should have a health ministry. Because you're not going to get through this by yourself. You should be, just as you go in to pray, you should have the support you need to get through this. Anyone who has been addicted to anything would tell you it's about not only the physical support, but it's the emotional support that is often ignored and acknowledged and is not properly acknowledged. You can't merely tell someone to go in and stop eating a certain way. No, they would if they could. How do we show people through? So what are we doing as I conclude in Brooklyn? Number one, we're moving to get processed meat out of all of our schools.
That's right.
Processed meat is a type 1 carcinogen. The WHO has already acknowledged this is not a radical organization. This is a conservative organization on an international level stated that processed meat is a type 1 carcinogen equal to asbestos and cancer. If you're not going to light up a Marlboro for a child, you should not be giving that child processed meat. It kills, period. That's not even a question. So we're getting it out of our schools. Second, we got the oldest hospital in America, Bellevue Hospital, to open the first whole food plant-based clinic anywhere on the globe. And we're doing it at Bellevue. Someone comes in with cancer, someone comes in with heart disease, diabetes, other illnesses, they're going to have a choice. Either go the whole food plant-based route and reverse your disease, or go the traditional route and take a pill that will cover up the symptom. It's their choice. But people should have the right to say which way they want to go and not force down one way. Third, Everywhere we feed people. Government, no, let those children talk. I'm not Donald Trump. They can talk in here. Let them enjoy themselves. Everywhere we serve food should be healthy. Our prisons should be healthy food. Our senior centers should be healthy food.
Yes.
Our schools should be healthy food. Our hospitals should be healthy food.
Yes.
Listen, what you serve folks at home in your own home, fine. But government should not feed the crisis. We should not be spending millions of dollars talking about dealing with childhood obesity, childhood asthma, childhood diabetes, yet every day we're feeding children 980,000 meals in the Department of Education that causes childhood obesity, childhood diabetes, childhood asthma. What are we doing serving children pizza in schools, which is one of the #1 causes of diabetes? Why are we serving them white milk, which is one of the #1 causes of asthma? Why are we feeding our children food that feeds the crisis? That needs to stop, and that needs to end, and that is what we're pushing for. Lastly, it's about education. It's about educating people how to eat better, how to cook better, how to understand, how to retrain our taste buds so that we're not oversaturated with the desire of having fat, sugar, and salt all the time. Showing people what food does to them. If you have a certain illness that has a tradition to be active in your family, how not to eat the foods that's going to kick them in. Only 5% of the diseases that you receive is hereditary in nature. 95%, we all have the genes for it, but based on what we do, we turn it on or turn it off. And the food we eat turn on those genes. There's no reason it should do so. The #1 killer of black women is heart disease. It is reversible without medicine and without surgery. The only reason your doctors don't promote it is that you can't get money off of broccoli. You can't pass it. Those of you who know family members with autism and are autistic, instead of giving them medicines, try giving them broccoli and watch what happens with those outbursts that they had. They clearly show that they dissipate and they go away. It's the food. It's the food. God has meant for us to be fruitful and multiply, not toxic and die. If we go back to the land and we eat healthy, we can return to who and what we are in our rightful way. And so that's my message. My message is clear. And I come out here today to use the message. I thought I was buried with diabetes. I was planted. And the harvest of my planting is what I'm going to share with my people. This is a Moses moment. Let's let our people go and live a healthy lifestyle. Thank you.
Everybody should be standing. Come on. We have to reverse our disease. We have to do this. Thank you, sir. You know, it takes 3 months to clean your blood. You know, you can have clean blood in 3 months.
That's right.
There's a whole bunch of herbs that clean your blood. Burdock, dandelion. There's so much. You know, baking soda to clean your blood so you won't have to go on the dialysis machine 3 times a week for the $5,000 that they're charging.
That's right.
A baking soda costs $3.69. Will your doctor tell you? He will never tell you. You can clean the blood manually, or you can choose to go on a machine. It's your choice. But they condition you so much into thinking that the mind is conditioned into thinking that the doctor is always right. They don't tell you there's alternative medicine. And as a naturopathic doctor, I'm board certified. I studied this because I am tired of seeing people dying. And then passing around the hat for somebody to pay money to bury them. Financial poverty, all of this in the black community. We have to get insurance, people. We can't be the only race in America. You know what we are right now? We are a statistic. We are the least insured race. We, black people, are the least
That's right.
The least insured race in America. So we're also dying fast. Diabetes, lot of this disease, because of the diet. Then there's no insurance, so the hat gotta go around. The GoFundMe now, they changed from hat to GoFundMe. But it's the same deal. Everybody will have money to bury so you need to get some insurance already so your child could grow up and buy a McDonald's. Well, not a McDonald's. Because that's what they're doing. The other races who are the most insured race in America, the other races, they get insurance because they know that death is inevitable. Nobody told us. Exactly. We have the insurance for the phone.
Right.
We have insurance for the car.